228, Truck 6, Truck 3, Battalion 3, and the on-call inspector. 2303 West 46th Street, number 208.
Hi, I'm Division Chief Steve Fessler, and on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire, we get a chance to talk to a few of our new cadets while they're doing some wildland training. We also go to Metro Communications, take kind of an inside look on their operations, and we get a chance to go along with some of our fire crews during a new construction high-rise training. This and more all on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire.
My name's Rob Flannery, currently assigned to Heavy Rescue 1 out of Central Fire Station. Today we're at Sharapa 4, simulating a high-rise fire. Heavy Rescue 1 was assigned first due. When we arrived on scene, Captain John Fisher and myself made entrance up to the 5th floor, assigned a recon group. We reconned the area. We were able to stretch a high-rise pack to get to the seat of the fire. Simulated fire attack. It's always kind of a challenge to navigate between real life and training, but we did our best to kind of play along with that game. Once we kind of got the fire knocked down in simulation, then we were instructed to continue a primary search. Part of this drill was two known victims up on the 5th or 6th floor, undisclosed location, but we were on 5th, so we continued a primary on 5th. At that time, with low visibility and continued heat, simulated again. We decided to exit due to low air alarm, came down, got some more air, and went back up and continued with the primary search. So again, training is always a delicate dance between being live and then trying not to wreck structures, especially stuff like this that's acquired. This is super important to us just because we don't necessarily get a chance to get into these kind of structures. So when we are able to get into something like this, A, we really appreciate it, but B, it gives us a chance to kind of see where we're at as far as our training and see what we can get better at and see what we did well. So some of the challenges that this highlights is our resources, right? And we're only so big, so it is a credit to having mutual aid agreements and bringing in outside agencies to help us, because this is a super heavy resource-dependent type operation. So it kind of shows a teamwork at a bigger scale than just Sioux Falls Fire. And it also highlights internally what we're able to handle and how we're able to tackle something this big. Yeah, so overall, the opportunity to be able to come into a structure like this, we can't be thankful enough to Journey and to Sharapa for letting us come in and do stuff like this. Again, it highlights our response capabilities, and it better prepares us for something if it were to ever happen. We have at least one go in the structure, and it just allows us to go back then and kind of fine-tooth comb what we need to improve on, and again, the strengths that we had while we did go through the evolution.
I'm out here today at the Public Safety Campus at our new Metro Communications Dispatch Center, and I'm here with Amy Chase. She's a Metro Communications Administrator. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
Just kind of want to talk about what is Metro Communications. Kind of explain to me, what does it do?
Great question. So Metro answers emergency and non-emergency calls from all of Sioux Falls and all of Minnehaha County. And then we handle the dispatch services for 3 law enforcement agencies, 5 ambulance services, and 17 fire departments. So we're pretty busy.
It's definitely a busy place. And like I said, we're out at the Public Safety Campus, brand new facility for you. How long you been in here now?
We've been here since about mid-January.
Mid-January? How's it going so far?
Fantastic. Our staff love it. It's a completely different vibe than we've had in the past, and it's been tremendous.
Yeah, I know I've visited your old site. It was lovingly known as the dungeon, basically. Right. So this is kind of nice. You get windows, you get much more open, airy feeling.
Yes. We're not sitting right on top of each other. We have room to expand. We have room to kind of distance ourselves from people. We still work, obviously, very closely together, but Windows has been amazing. We're able to see the weather as it's happening versus relying on our responders, which is great.
Yep.
And then all of the other amenities that are out here have been fantastic.
In the old facility, we wouldn't have been able to do this interview because we would have had your dispatchers and call takers right on top of us at the same time. So awesome facility. One of the really cool things that you've got is your newest little partner running around, Nina. Yes. Tell us about Nina.
Nina is fabulous. So she now lives out here full time. So all of our staff have daily interactions with her. and she's just amazing. She's the cutest, calmest, sweetest little girl, and she really knows when somebody needs some extra attention. So if we have a call taker that takes a high-stress call, she's right there. They can snuggle with her.
Yep.
They can go out and enjoy the campus and take her on a walk. It's amazing.
Great, awesome. So, I'm sure a lot of people probably don't realize this, but Metro Communications was just brought into the city as an office within the city of Sioux Falls under fire rescue. How did that all work? How's that going for us?
It's going really well. The transition has been several months in the making, but really it's allowed us to gain access to so much support, and we truly couldn't have made the move without that support and that transition. So it's been really wonderful coming under the umbrella of the city and truly getting to know the rest of our public safety team.
And you have the fun aspect of really getting to know fire, which is a little interesting once in a while, but we welcome you aboard with us. We're glad to have you with us.
Well, we appreciate that. That's definitely one part of the team that we didn't always have access to historically. We were much closer in proximities with the law enforcement entities, so it's been really great getting to know that part of the team and having some of them work out here with us, which has been great too.
I was going to say, we've actually had a few of our individuals that have been on like a modified duty injury, trying to come back, work their way back to the floor, have been able to come out and work with you, and works out pretty well, doesn't it?
It works out very well, because not only are we obviously benefiting from having them here, but vice versa too. And we always have thought it's better to understand the other side of the radio. So we're learning from them just as much as they're learning from us. And at the end, we're going to have a better product and be better team players for our community.
So an additional thing I know that you're always looking for, like every other business or what have you out there, is recruitment, more employees. What do you have going on right now?
Yes, we're always looking for new candidates that are interested in serving the community in maybe a role that's not in the direct line of fire. Applicants do not have to have any prior experience. We have a very extensive on-the-job training. It's about 26 weeks or 6 months in length.
Okay.
And we rotate between a classroom environment and on-the-job real-world training. So we support the employees through all of that, and much more information can be found at siouxfalls.gov/careers.
Awesome. And I know we mentioned some fire personnel working out here. We'll meet them here in the next little bit, next segment or so. All right, now I'm out here with, I should introduce him as our newest Division Chief of Operations, Garrett Delaney.
Thanks.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We are out here doing some wildland training, I guess a controlled burn. You've got a lot of experience with that prior to coming on with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. Currently certified as an engine boss, I believe, correct?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your experience, and then a little bit about what we have going on here, kind of the high level of why we're doing this.
Sure. Yeah. So originally I'm from Montana, and before I moved out here, I did 4 years with the Department of Natural Resources, state of Montana. So fought wildland fires all over the western United States and Alaska over those 4 years. So I do have quite a bit of experience in that. A lot of different terrains and stuff. So that's kind of the backbone of my experience. And then since I've gotten hired here, we've continued training, and I've been involved with the wildland program since. So we just turned over 20 years.
20 years with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue.
Correct.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And promoted to Division Chief of Operations.
It's been a big year.
Yeah, you've got big shoes to fill with Mark Bukovic promoting to Assistant Chief. A lot of exciting times.
Yeah, yep, a lot to learn there.
Yeah, and so with this, what we're doing here today with the controlled burn, kind of tell us why we do it, what the city's looking at with this, and a little more information.
Yeah, so we've been partnering with the city and some other entities around Sioux Falls. It's good to keep these areas, first of all, it keeps the fuel load down, right? So dry years, things can't spark up and burn as easily. It helps with the noxious weeds, so it helps weed that out. And it actually makes a better habitat for wildlife. So it's combines all those things and helps out.
In looking at the winter we've had so far, the lack of moisture, this is a good thing to get ahead of for us.
For sure. Yep, it's looking so far like it's going to be a pretty dry year for us. We've had those in the past, and so it's good that we can get out in these danger areas and help get those burned off and reduce some of the fuels. And like I said, it helps the noxious weeds and the habitat.
So that's kind of the overall big picture of what we're doing out here. What are some of the other things that we can do with this?
So the big thing for us personally is it's experience, right? We have our cadets out here, so they're learning this for the first time, which there's no better experience than to be able to put down some live fire. They can actually see how the fire reacts, and with the wind and the fuels and the topography. So that's invaluable training, and that's another great reason that we can do these burns and partner with these. It's not just the noxious weeds and the habitat, but also it's training for us.
And we've got some of our more seasoned firefighters that have task books open and things like that. So what are some of the stuff that they're doing?
Yep. So it's also a good experience, obviously, for even those of us that have experience, right? New experiences, and as the weather changes and fuels continue to change and the way they burn, it's experience for us too, and learning for us. So, and then we're always trying to bring up people that don't have experience, get them experience, and then there's different levels of training from a couple of levels of firefighter up to then engine boss, and there's burn bosses, which a couple of our burn bosses here today, or one of them is a trainee, has his task book open, so he's able to work on some of those things and get checked off on it.
All right, and so a lot of good information there on what we're doing, why we're doing it, the training that we get with it, and like you said, we've got our entire new Cadet Academy class out here. They've went through their wildland training. Exactly. So I think now I'm going to try to catch up with a couple of them, talk to them, see what their experience has been like, and go from there.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Have a good one. Right now I'm with Drake Carnahan, one of our newest cadets. Tell me a little bit about what you've been learning in wildland classes and what you've been doing out here today.
So a few things that we've learned was how to set up lines to control fire in wildlands. We learned how to be able to start burns and push, helps it so we're able to push towards to control fire. Yep. A few things we've done today is we were able to start some fires, push and control the burns. We've been able to put out fires, get our hands on some hose lines, start some wet lines. Okay.
And what kind of tools are you using to do this?
I was on the wet lining, so I was able to use Wildlands 9.
Okay.
We were able to pull the hose there and just walk along the outskirts and control. So
basically putting a wet line, so where you start the fire to do the control, that it's got a good wet spot to start from and go to the dry area, right?
Correct, yeah. So it doesn't go past past where we want it to go.
So like as it says, control to burn.
Yep.
All right, so you've been enjoying this so far?
Absolutely. It's fun to get our hands on and do all this stuff. I was going to say, this is kind of your first hands-on fire experience for the Cadet Academy. You've been dealing with a lot of EMS up to this part, so the fun begins in that respect, right? Absolutely.
All right, couple quick questions. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Sioux City, Iowa. I moved up here in December.
Okay, and why did you decide to join Sioux Falls Fire Rescue?
So, it's a really funny story. When I got my NREMT done back in 2020, my Lyft driver that I went downtown because I was celebrating with some of my buddies was a Sioux Falls fireman, and he recommended the academy, and I recommended it up here, and so I threw my hat in it and I got it, so I was pretty excited to start it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, and we're glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now next I'm with Mac Jarvis, another one of our new cadets. Mac, tell us a little. Well, let's start off with where are you originally from?
Just like Drake, I'm from down in Sioux City, Iowa. Grew up in Sioux City, went to West High and graduated. Didn't know what I wanted to do, so became a firefighter was the best next option, I guess.
All right, how'd you come about looking at Sioux Falls Fire Rescue?
With my family down in Sioux City, I wanted to kind of stay somewhere along I-29. Found out about Sioux Falls, kind of did some research, read about what they do, how they operate their fire department, and before I even applied, I'm like, this is a great place to want to go.
All right, good. Well,
obviously.
Couple questions for you. How's it been going so far? All of your training, your first 6 weeks have been with EMS. Were you an EMT prior to this?
I was.
Okay, so a lot of refresher, right?
A lot of refresher, which I actually think I needed.
Good.
Mr. Jeremy did a wonderful job. I even told him, straight up, you did a much better job than my first instructor. Things that I graduated EMT when I got my EMT license, I was fuzzy about. Mr. Jeremy cleared that up.
Good.
A million times better.
Good. And now you've went the past couple of weeks. Let's see, you did car seat training, correct?
Yes, sir.
How'd that go for you?
Good.
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 Little
Learning
more to it than you'd ever expect.
Yeah,
right?
I would have thought car seat, that's going to take an afternoon maybe, but somehow it was 3 days, but it was good information. Now I'm ready to install any car seat you put in front of me.
There you go. And now a week of wildland training, which you get a little hands-on out here.
Yes, sir.
Enjoying that?
I am. It's good to get out of the classroom and actually like put on some gear, see some fire, and even though I was just wetting down wet line, being right next to that fire.
Yep.
Smelling it.
Get to feel a little bit of the heat and
Yes,
stuff
sir.
too. And then I believe next week you're heading into hazmat.
Yes, sir.
So that's a whole new realm of things. Ever experienced with that at all?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Not ever really gone super in depth outside of the classroom.
Well, you'll learn quite a bit with it next
Yes, sir.
week.
Yes, sir.
So awesome. Well, now you're getting into more of the firefighting and that aspect of things, more of the hands-on. Looking forward to that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I will let you get back to work here. I thank you for your time and
Thanks, sir.
let you go.
Thank you, sir.
So today I've got a little bit of a different story to bring to you. Typically we're always talking fire rescue, all the things we've got going on. One of the new things that has come about is when we have a firefighter that might be on an extended injury or something like that, we have opportunities for them to work with Metro Communications, which is our dispatch center. And today I've got Conrad Do. He's a firefighter with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. Welcome.
Hi.
Conrad, tell us a little bit, how did you end up coming out here to Metro Communications to start with?
Back in February of 2023, I ended up tearing my ACL and my meniscus. It was kind of an unfortunate event, but tore my ACL and needed to get it fixed, so got it fixed, and here we are.
Okay, so coming out here was an opportunity to be able to continue working, doing what you want to do, help the community, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And you can still do your rehab and everything and work yourself back to being a full-time firefighter on the floor, correct?
Yeah. Been out here about 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
Just a good opportunity, like I said, to keep serving what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Build on, the behind-the-scenes knowledge that we get out in the field.
Okay.
So,
And one of the really interesting things that you've been able to be a part of since you've been out here is the delivery of a baby over the phone. Is that correct?
it's correct.
How'd that go for you?
I definitely didn't think I was answering the phone call for someone that was in labor or going into labor. But you never know what kind of phone call you're going to answer. And,
Right.
you answer it and you ask them where the emergency's at and figure out where they're at first, and then just figure out what the problem is next. And
So were there any unexpected things that came up during the conversations during the delivery?
yeah, the whole thing was pretty unexpected. One of the questions that we have to ask is, do you see anything sticking out? In case it's a breach delivery or
Right. Yeah.
the delivery's not going how it's supposed to. And right when I asked that question, he goes, "The baby's out." And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So that was very unexpected.
Yep.
And then right after that, I started hearing the baby cry, and that's a good thing because
All the good signs there.
yeah,
Yep.
that's a very good sign.
So what kind of questions do you have to ask in that type of situation? I know you just stated,
Yeah.
is there anything coming out? Are there any other types of questions that you're working through?
Yeah, you're figuring out how far along in the pregnancy they are, if it's their first birth or if it's number 2, 3, 4.
Gives you a little indication on timing that you might have.
Yeah. If there's any serious bleeding, if they've had complications during the pregnancy prior,
So,
questions like that,
Yep.
I guess.
So your experience as an EMT going through that training and during Cadet Academy and all that kind of stuff kind of come full forward for you during this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody says, not everybody gets to deliver a baby like
Yep.
in person. like I said, it's something that I wasn't really expecting
Yep.
as to take as a call taker. So it definitely did all come pretty full circle in a way.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It's a great opportunity. I think you're learning a lot behind the scenes for what a dispatcher does for us, what a call taker does for us, and you'll be able to share that with the rest of the floor and everything as you progress through your career as a firefighter, correct?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of good things to learn here that can be transferred out into the field for sure.
Awesome. Well, I know you're busy here, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll let you get back to what you're doing, call taking.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Recently, Sioux Falls Fire Rescue achieved another big milestone. We received our 5th accredited status through the Center for Public Safety Excellence. Our first one was in 2003, and this is the 5th one. And to talk more about it, I've got Chief McAravey with me today. Welcome, Chief.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's just kind of dig into what is accreditation for Sioux Falls Fire Rescue?
Accreditation, it'd be a little bit of an understatement to say that it's an absolute total evaluation of our processes, planning, ultimately delivery, and then plan for improvement for everything the fire service does.
It's kind of a continuous improvement for us, correct? That's what they say for accreditation, a model of continuous improvement.
Yep.
How's that work?
It's absolutely the theme of the accreditation process. So no matter where you're at in the delivery service, how do we plan on yet improving that? So we have a tremendous department. We have great people, we have great resources, but how do we continue to evaluate what we're delivering to the population, and how are we going to improve that service in the future?
Can you speak through kind of how the process works? What are the steps that we've gone through throughout the last 5 years? Because it's a 5-year duration in between achieving that status. What were the steps that we went through?
Yeah, so on an annual basis, we provide a compliance report. So there's a lot of really critical criteria that the system has. So we report on that annually to make sure that we're keeping up on that. And then after one of our accreditation conferences, you brought back the annual appraisals, which really helps us dig into every program we have, whether it's urban search and rescue, wildland firefighting, each one of those to deliver. What do our teams that are at the ground level delivering those services, what do they see for needs? And then we bring that up through a full-scale report that we report to a team that comes in, that we bring in peer assessors from across the country. They come and review what we provide to them then and say, yep, you're meeting what your needs are here in this report. So every component of that has a paragraph where we write to what we're doing presently. Let's say for wildland firefighting, what are we doing presently? Do we identify that there's any gaps where we could be providing that better? And then the third part of that is, what is our plan to improve that one? And we do that across our entire appraisal process.
So we look at not only what we're currently doing, but our plan to move forward, which is like I said, the continuous improvement model that we follow. You mentioned peer assessors. So there's a team that came in. They were here for a week. They pretty much dug in top to bottom of our organization, took a good close look at what we do and what we want to do, and then the commission. How did that work?
So yeah, it's pretty humbling. So the commission is made up of 13 commissioners across the entire country, leaders in their services, and they go through and they bring they look through what the recommendations are from the on-site assessors. And then our panel of chief officers sat in front of the commission, answered questions on the 7 recommendations that they brought. We answered to what have we either accomplished already, or what do we plan to accomplish over the next number of years, so that we can utilize those recommendations to improve the organization.
And then that commission has really the final say of giving us either the thumbs up or thumbs down on the reaccredited status, correct?
Correct.
And like I said earlier, we achieved our 5th one. First one was in 2003. Every 5 years we go through this process, or I should say it's a continuous process, but we sit in front of the commission every 5 years. So we're kind of starting the process over for the next 5 years. Any big changes that you see coming?
Probably the most exciting for me, one of the top recommendations that they had is to continue working towards evaluating the hazards in our community. So we're incredibly fortunate in our city that our civic analytics department is bar none, probably one of the top in the entire nation. So working with them to drill down to the building and the parcel level, what do we have for risk at every single building in our community, and then building a deployment model. So if it's a high hazard building, we send more firefighters. If it's less so, we reserve more firefighters so then they can go out and provide other functions. So that's something that really isn't being done across the country yet, that I think will be on the forefront, and pretty excited to bring that model. And we couldn't do it without the entire team of the City of Sioux Falls and the operations team and what they bring.
Yep, and like you said, it takes the entire team throughout the City of Sioux Falls, not only fire rescue, but all of our other partners that we work with for this.
Yeah, it's like I said, it'd be an understatement to say that it's an absolute analysis of everything we do. So HR has a component. How do we recruit and retain? How do we promote people? How do we, finance? How do we budget? So it's really neat to see and lift up that team as these assessors from across the country evaluate to some extent our HR department, our finance, our GIS departments, like to see them get glowing reviews as well. So it's not only the fire department that is to some extent getting a grade here, it's really all of the city operations.
So one of the things with the accredited status, it's a worldwide thing. So overall, worldwide, there are roughly 326 accredited agencies. How do you feel we stack up with that?
Yeah, it's a tremendous group to be in there, especially you lump in our ISO 1 status with that as well. It puts us clearly in the top 1% of fire departments in the nation. And for me, it gives me great pride being the leader of the organization that now we can share with council, with our elected officials, and with the population, that the resources and the people that you're entrusting us with, that we're creating the most good that we can with those resources and those dollars.
Thank you for watching this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. If you're interested in a career with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue or Metro Communications, go to siouxfalls.gov/careers.